Imagine the deafening chaos of a World War II battlefield. Amidst the mud, the barbed wire, and the echoes of gunfire, a single piece of paper survives, folded, stained, but miraculously intact. This isn't just any piece of paper. It's a letter, a final message, penned by a soldier who knew his time was running out. This is the story of that letter and the man who wrote it. His name was Private John Jack Collins, a young man from a small town in Ohio, barely 20 years old. He was part of the Allied forces pushing through the dense forests of the Ardennes during the brutal winter of 1944, a campaign that would later be known as the Battle of the Bulge. The conditions were horrific. Snow was waist-deep, temperatures plummeted far below freezing, and the enemy was everywhere, hidden amongst the towering snow-laden pines. Jack wasn't a career soldier back home. He worked at his father's hardware store, dreaming of one day marrying his sweetheart, Mary, and starting a family. He was known for his easy smile and his knack for fixing just about anything. When the call to serve came, he went, like millions of others, believing it was his duty to protect the world from tyranny. He promised Mary he'd be home by Christmas. But Christmas came and went, and the fighting only intensified. Jack's unit, exhausted and undersupplied, found themselves pinned down near a small Belgian town. For days, they held their position against overwhelming odds. The air was thick with the smell of pine and gunpowder. Every snap of a twig could mean an enemy patrol. Every gust of wind sounded like an incoming shell. It was during a rare moment of quiet, huddled in a foxhole he'd dug with his own frozen hands, that Jack decided to write. He knew the chances of survival were slim. He'd seen too many friends fall. He pulled out a worn piece of paper and a stub of a pencil, his fingers numb with cold. He didn't write about the horror, the fighting. He wrote about home. "My dearest Mary," the letter began. The handwriting, though shaky, was filled with an unmistakable tenderness. "If you are reading this, it means I won't be coming home for Christmas, or any Christmas after. Please don't be sad for too long. I need you to live. I need you to be happy." He wrote about their first date, a picnic by Miller's Pond, and how she had laughed when a frog jumped into her basket. He remembered the exact pattern of her summer dress, yellow with tiny blue flowers. He wrote about the dreams they had shared, of a small house with a porch swing and a yard big enough for a dog and a couple of kids. "Tell our children, when you have them," he wrote, "that their father loved them, even though he never got to meet them. Tell them he fought for a world where they could grow up safe and free." Jack's words weren't just a goodbye. They were a blueprint for the future he wanted for her, even if he couldn't be in it. He urged her to find love again, to build the life they had planned. "Your happiness was always my greatest treasure," he confessed. "Don't let my memory become a cage. Let it be the wind beneath your wings. Promise me you'll fly." He described the forest around him, not as a place of war, but with a strange, poetic beauty. He mentioned the way the snow clung to the branches, making the trees look like they were covered in sugar. He wrote about a single red cardinal he'd seen that morning, a splash of vibrant color against the endless white, and how it reminded him of the red ribbon she always wore in her hair. It was his way of telling her that even in the darkest of places, he was still finding things that reminded him of her, of the beauty in the world. He didn't sign off with "Love, Jack." Instead, his final words were a simple, heart-wrenching instruction: "Look at the stars for me." Just hours after he finished writing, the enemy launched a final, desperate assault on their position. The ensuing fight was brutal and close-quartered. Private Jack Collins, the boy from Ohio who dreamed of a porch swing, fought bravely to his last breath, defending the very freedoms he wrote about. He was never seen alive again. Weeks later, as the snow began to melt and the battle moved on, a Belgian farmer returned to his land. While clearing debris from his field, he found a small, mud-caked notebook. Inside, tucked away, was Jack's letter. Recognizing its importance, he handed it over to an American officer. The letter began its long journey home. It passed through countless hands, a sacred object amidst the bureaucracy of war. Finally, months after the fighting in the Ardennes had ceased, it arrived at a small house in Ohio. When Mary received the letter, the war in Europe was nearly over. Victory was in the air, but her world had just been shattered. She read Jack's words through a flood of tears, his voice echoing from the page. She saw the picnic, the yellow dress, the red cardinal. She felt his love, his sacrifice, and his final selfless wish for her happiness. Mary never did remarry. For her, the love she shared with Jack was a once-in-a-lifetime gift, but she did honor his promise. She lived. She didn't let her grief become a cage. She became a school teacher, pouring her heart into nurturing generations of children, telling them stories of courage, hope, and a brave young soldier who loved her very much. She would often take her students to the local observatory. As they gazed up at the cosmos, she would quietly whisper to herself, "I'm looking, Jack. I'm looking at the stars for you." Jack's letter was not just a personal message. It was a testament to an entire generation. It represents the millions of unspoken stories, the lost dreams, and the profound love that persisted even in the face of unimaginable horror. It reminds us that behind every statistic, every black and white photo from World War II, there was a person with a name, a home, and someone they loved more than life itself. These soldiers weren't just fighting against an enemy. They were fighting for something, for a future they might not get to see, for a picnic by a pond, for a porch swing, for the simple, beautiful, ordinary moments that make a life. Jack's letter, found on a forgotten battlefield, ensures that we never forget the true cost of our freedom and the enduring power of the human heart. Thank you for watching. If this story touched you, please consider sharing it so that the memory of heroes like Jack Collins continues to shine, just like the stars he asked us to watch.